Cubans. Oh, hello there. Welcome to Brad and the Lord, just chillin'. Today on the show, teleological ethics, deontological ethics, and the ethics of the face. That's all coming up. Stick around.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name.
Hypocrisy is something citizens of our nation has come to do quite well. Whether it's the treatment of the homeless or bullying itself. Ostracizing the outcasts or the impoverished of this nation is something we have all become accustomed to. This is terribly unjust. If you're a regular viewer, you're gonna know that homelessness just doesn't sit right with me. It touches me right in here. That's due to personal experience and perceived anecdotes. By great chance, Greek philosopher Aristotle and his buddies Levinas and Kant were in town on the weekend. Luckily, I had an opportunity to sit down and talk with them, get their take on the proliferation of this issue that has to be addressed. Brad and the Lord, just chillin', here on his cell. Pardon me? Aristotle? Kant? Levinas? Marquee Strip Club? Sign me up. We gotta get down there. Let's just say, time is of the essence. In the car. I think we just spotted them.
Hey boys.
Yo, that's Brad and the Lord just chilling, man.
Who else? Let's take a walk, boys.
Wait, guys. It's our moral duty to help that guy.
Why should we help that guy? He's not going to establish a relationship with either of us in return.
That's the point. We may not want to help him, but it's our moral duty to help him.
See, the individuality of his face calls us to ask for him.
What? Treat humans not only as a means, but an end. But today, we can be your means.
Thank you, kind sir.
The teleology of a person describes their destiny and a prescribed fate.
Good sir, what might be your destiny?
Destiny, you ask? That place where good and evil meet, and yet the very quality negate their power. Who is to say in which direction the pendulum shall deliver its final swing?
And in the meantime, a quick message from our sponsors. I don't always get places quickly, but when I need to, I use 5-hour energy. I frequently smoke cigars, and when I do, they're always Century Sam's. Wheel.
Arms for the poor, arms for the poor, arms for the poor. Arms for the poor, arms for...
Sir, are you okay?
Well, And now that it's all over, the birds can nest again. A lonely show, and then the sun comes up, I'll shine only when it starts to rain. And if you thirst for drink, just squeeze my hand, and wine will flow into the land and feed my lambs, for I am the mirror, I can reflect the moon. I will write songs for you, I'll be your silver spoon. I'm sorry I took your time, I am the poem that doesn't rhyme. Just turn back the page, I'll waste away. I'll waste away.
Hey, we're back in the studio with the three philosophers for today's edition of Either Side of the Ficus. It just so happens that these three philosophers are competing on the show Ethics Committee Showdown, granting one winner a position in the divine community. Let's roll the clip of the show.
Hey guys, Aristotle here. So I'm just going to give you a little brief update about my background so you know what I'm about. Alright, so I was born in Stagira. That's a northern colony outside of Greece, bordering Macedonia. My father is actually a court physician, and he was also not only a court physician, but he was a friend of King Amyntas II of Macedonia. And you know, since they were friends and buddies, I got to hang out with the king's son Philip as a child. Also, as I was a child, my father introduced me to medical studies and autonomy. Although my childhood was great, it still had its downsides. My parents died when I was 17, but that didn't stop me from pursuing my education at Plato's Academy.
Hi guys, my name is Emmanuel Kant. I was born in a small city called Königsberg in Germany. When I was growing up, I had a really big family. I was the fourth of 11 children. I grew up in a life of poverty in a very strict religious household. What can I say about myself? I spent nearly my entire life next to my hometown. I never went more than 100 kilometers from my birthplace. And that's it.
Hi, my name is Emmanuel Levinas. I was born in Kaunas, Lithuania in 1906. My parents were both Jewish, and I can speak Russian and German. I began studying philosophy when I was 17 in Strasbourg. When I turned 33, I was recruited to the French army as an interpreter to German and Russian. A year later, I became a prisoner of war, and I was forced to do hard labor for 5 years. After the war, I was reunited with my family, who only my wife and daughter survived.
You guys know I got this in the bag, right?
I've been through great trial and tribulation in the prisoner of war camps, granting me experience that cannot be contended with.
I've debated with others like you before.
Look at his face. It says no.
Well, Levinas, that really hits home. I like how you touched on the individuality of each person and that you just can't be grouping all humans as a being, you know? We're all our own people. So, when we were cruising the streets, we crossed by that man who was panhandling, and I noticed you guys kind of had some conflicting ideas on how we should be treating the man. So, you want to give me some insight into your theories on addressing these issues? We crossed by that man who was panhandling, and I noticed you guys kind of had some conflicting ideas on how we should be treating the man. So, you want to give me some insight into your theories on addressing these issues?
Alright, so Brad and the Lord, my problem with the homeless man was he's not contributing any good to the city-state. He's making no effort to attain his teleology, and I know personally that you cannot pursue happiness but only ensue happiness when you do good. And this man clearly wasn't acting or living well, not contributing to the community. Plain as.
See, that's exactly it, Aristotle. The face of the beggar shows us that the man was not living well. so it helps us do well to the man.
I completely see your point, Levinas, just as in Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 18, I believe. Correct? The Israelites are told to love strangers just as they love themselves, because it's the Lord who watches over the strangers.
Amen.
To elaborate on that, others' depths of misery makes the face ethical. It commands us to act. The face translates the demand of a beggar into a sorrowful request.
Con, can I hear from you?
Sure. Well, my theoretical reason makes us aware of what humans do, which is treat the impoverished with a lack of respect. But my practical reason tells us what we ought to do, which is follow our moral duty.
Alright, let's shift topics here to an issue that is just coursing through our nation. It's unjust, it's accidental, as Aristotle would say. It's bullying. As you can see, bullying can be absolutely detrimental to the development of a youth. Can I get your take on that?
Well, Brad, it's his theory that tells us we can't group everyone as a being, that we have to focus on the differences.
So what you're saying is that his theory actually perpetuates bullying.
You see, that's a common misconception about my theories. I believe that you must acknowledge the individuality of each person, because the other's uniqueness is a trace of God within them. And Brad, this is something not to be mocked.
Brad, you know what I'm all about. I'm all about the health of the community. And isolating individuals based on their differences just doesn't contribute to that whatsoever. As humans, we're inclined to do good. And the only true way to achieve happiness is through a healthy relationship.
I see what you mean, and bullying is the exact way to not do that.
Yeah, I agree.
Brad, I think about doing the good as an individual rather than the community. The only thing, according to my theory, that undoubtedly resonates as the good is goodwill itself. Good intentions are what helps us to achieve happiness, and it's our duty to execute them through moral actions.
Alright, well it looks like it's about time to wrap up today's edition of Either Side of the Ficus. I want to thank these three great elderly men for coming down to the studio, letting me get their take on these current world issues. Let's get a round of applause for these three guys over here. Thanks for stopping by. So, what we have to take away from today's episode is that there are three actions that call us to ethical behavior. There's the beggar, there is the scream, and there is the obligation. Just as Aristotle describes, the scream calls us to do good. It's an inclination. It comes naturally to us. As well as Levinas's theory, which is associated with the ethics of the face. The individuality of everyone's face is what calls us to do good. Therefore, Levinas's theories are in accordance with the beggar, our second call to action. We must tend to their needs. As their face provides a moral guide for us, we must provide them hospitality. And thirdly, there's Immanuel Kant, whose theories state that we have a moral duty to do the good. It's not an inclination, no, not an inclination, but rather a duty. This is in accordance with our third call to action, obligation. We are obliged to do good, just as humans. That's going to be it for this week's episode of Brad and the Lord Just Chillin'. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to tune in next week, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. This is Brad and the Lord signing off.
They didn't show. Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. Roll out of bed, Mr. Coffee's dead. The morning's looking bright. And your shrink ran off to Europe. and didn't even write.
And, as aforementioned, Levinas's theories are associated with the ethics of the face. The individuality of everyone's face is what calls us to do good. There's a string attached, man. Therefore, Levinas's theory represents the call of the beggar. Finally, there's the theories of Kant. Oh, it's alright, ma'am, don't worry. Finally, who states that? Oh, here we go. Finally, there's the theories of Kant, which... Hello?
Hi, what are you guys up to?
Just filming a video for religion class.
Okay.
Could we will literally be like...
No, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure.
Oh, okay.
I don't have an issue as long as that's all it's for.
Alright. Tend to their needs. Provide hospitality. And finally, there's the theories of Kant, who states that we have a moral duty to do the good. This is in accordance with the third call to action. Moral good. Tend to their needs. Provide hospitality. Finally, there's the theories of Kant, which states that we have a moral duty to do the good. This is in accordance with the third